because he wants Vegeta to shut up.
You really feel smart for that, don't you? It's not funny! Hey, does anybody want to adopt a text box? What's up everybody, StevDeS here. It's time to return to Meta Knight's quest for the Crystal Shard 64. But first, a quick message and a quick recap. These video game what-ifs are extremely limited as far as where they will go. To really open up the stories that you see here, I really need your votes. I want to encourage the votes without making it seem like, hey, go vote. No, I don't want to come around like that. But I do want to encourage that those of you who enjoy the video game what-ifs, look at some of these other ones and let's try to make something together. Until then, I'm a little bit restricted as to what I want to do with the story. I want this channel to be community driven, as in it's you guys that make the views happen. It's you guys that make these videos as popular. It's all of you sharing this content that makes this whole what if video game thing really stand out. And yeah, a lot of the videos are actually Dragon Ball based. The ones that are Dragon Ball based are getting more popularity, but I don't want to be seen as another Dragon Ball what if YouTuber. That's why the video game what ifs are here to stay as far as the channel is concerned. Like video games a lot more than anime. It's just my niche. I'm not saying anime's not cool, but the best anime that I've watched, other than Fullmetal Alchemist, which, I mean, heck, if you want a what if there, go ahead and leave a comment. Other than Fullmetal Alchemist, and roughly a little bit of One Piece, a little bit of Bleach, the first part of Naruto, you know, before Shippuden. Yeah, that's as far as my anime knowledge goes. Not much at all. Video gaming is where I shine, because video gaming has been part of my life, all of my life. And the stories told through the platform really speaks to me. This is why I look forward to getting some of those polls up and really taking the story of video gaming another way. I'm not telling you to, I'm not trying to force you to in any way, shape, or form. This is entirely on you as the viewer. But some of these videos that you're seeing, I really want to continue because I do believe there are strong possibilities for the storyline. One in particular that I really want to continue is what if Manco and Overwatch join forces? Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch are such rival video games, but both of them are really good video games. The fact that I was able to get a part 1 and part 2 to have some continuity as far as how both of them together would function, that blows my mind, and I know it would blow the mind of a lot of people who are Team Fortress 2 lovers and Overwatch lovers. Even if they play Overwatch because they don't like TF2, or if they play TF2 because they don't like Overwatch. I want to do something amazing with that, but I can't really unless I get some of your votes. The vote that I have for that particular series is, does the Pyro stay at Manco? And sure enough, I haven't gotten a single vote for that. So, I mean, it's kind of disappointing. However, this is entirely optional. I don't want to rally the troops and tell you to do this. No, if you're interested in the work, all I can ask is that you consider voting in the polls, because that helps my creative mind go places with the story that I have given you. Now for the recap. In part 1, Meta Knight had to rise up in order to defend Dreamland against several threats that showed themselves in Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's Adventure, Kirby's Dream Land 2, and Kirby's Dream Land 3. In return for giving him a home near the Fountain of Dreams, King DDD has demanded that this ex-Star Warrior teaches him how to use that there hammer of his. This way we still get to see the jet hammer that King Dedede is popular for as far as the Smash Brothers games. King Dedede has allowed Meta Knight to live in Dreamland as long as he's by the Fountain of Dreams at all times. When one night, the crystal shards begin to rain down on planet Popstar, and yeah, he doesn't consider this to be a friendly thing. Meta Knight grabs the Star Rod, equipped with his sword and the Star Rod in tow. He rushes off to find a now corrupted Ribbon. Why would Ribbon be corrupt? Well, Kirby's not there to defend her. Here, we'd still get the side-scrolling action of Kirby 64, but on a bit of a different note. We still get the same gameplay as we do in Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. That doesn't change. What does change is each character's abilities. Now I say each character. Throughout this game you will run into other characters and you will be able to switch on a whim. As far as Meta Knight's concerned, he's the only character that has a ranged weapon, the Star Rod. Not only that, but he can also fly and use his sword. Pretty good deal, except he does take a little extra damage, a little bit of balancing there. Throughout the adventure you end up meeting Adeline and the Waddle Dee, as well as King Dedede. But I'll explain those as we get to them. For now, Meta Knight deals with Ribbon by learning how to use the Star Rod and his sword, and sure enough, Ribbon, after being purified, tells him what has gone on her planet Ripple Star. Meta Knight feels very somber about this and explains that this is in fact his fault. Zero was part of Dreamland and he was expelled because of Meta Knight's battle. However, Meta Knight is far more honorable of a warrior, and he's willing to travel along Dreamland, get some crystal shards, in order to get the crystal back to normal and save her home of Ripple Star. This is his fault, so he's gonna answer to it. The game would go normally. The main difference is the characters. Waddle Dee would actually be the bandana Waddle Dee that we all know and love. I know he wasn't part of the game up to this point, but considering the different weapons that Kirby's able to make by mixing two powers together, I think Waddle Dee could use a spear. I mean, come on, all those Waddle Dees that King Dedede has?
I want a full account of how many servants and soldiers we got wandering around the castle.
Well, there's lots of them.
The battle with Adeline also goes as normal. But in this continuity, being able to switch between characters on a whim, I would think that Waddle Dee with the spear would have more of a reach, and he would be able to throw spears kind of like he does in Star Allies, but considering this is a previous game, he's able to throw his spear, and that's it. Not multiple spears. After he throws his spear, he has to retreat it. That would encourage people to use Meta Knight as a ranged option. Adeline, for now, doesn't attack. If he sees a canvas, he could open up a door, or he would have more mobility. He would have more of a supportive role, but his damage would be incredibly weak in comparison to the other warriors. The game goes normal up until the King Dedede fight. This King Dedede is much stronger, and he's learned a lot more from Meta Knight. So, naturally, this King Dedede is holding off the dark matter that possesses him.
It's about time you got up here, Meta Dummy!
After they eliminate the dark matter that corrupted King Dedede in the original timeline, Meta Knight explains what's going on.
Well, it sounds to me like it's your problem, not mine.
But sire, Zero came from Dreamland. It is our fault that...
Our fault? Our fault? It's your fault for letting that thing get away!
Even so, my king, this is our responsibility.
No dice! I ain't doing anything but making sure I keep up my kingdom through this! You go fix your problem!
So be it, sire. Your Star Warrior training was for nothing, it seems. The king takes this to heart, and much like the original timeline, he kind of gets a little grumpy, but follows everyone through the portal to the next world. The game goes about the same up until planet Shiver Star. The group finds a mysterious crashed vessel that doesn't look anything like what Shiver Star looks like. Meta Knight checks it out, and he knows what this ship was for.
This is a Star Warrior ship. For a child. Y'all send babies into space? Those people from Salada Star do. But this should not be here.
He opens up a little panel revealing a little star and reads the name on the inside of that panel. Here we get the tragic backstory of Meta Knight, something that gamers would be hearing for the first time. This would be shocking. A cutesy fun game like Meta Nightmare having an actual nightmare in the form of Meta Knight's past. A crazy revelation, all from a character that we know nothing about up to this game in the timeline. This would be on levels equal to Samus being revealed as a woman and James McCloud possibly still being alive. From that point on, what's reflected in the cutscenes is Meta Knight focused on finding where this child Star Warrior is named Kirby in order to rescue him. There's another Star Warrior out there. This is big for the main character. It's not until Ripple Star that Meta Knight gets his wish, and the child is cornered and corrupted by Zero's dark matter. When the crew get to the site, Meta Knight finally has a moment where he lets his guard down. He needs to see if this child's okay, and approaching it, he doesn't realize that the child's corrupt. While Meta Knight's guard is down, the creature inhales Meta Knight's sword and transforms, growing a hat and a large blade from nothing. The creature wastes no time in attacking Meta Knight, knowing what Meta Knight's up to. But Meta Knight is blocked by a giant metal jet hammer, bashing the creature aside. King Dedede still has respect for Meta Knight, but since Meta Knight's defenseless, it needs to be an honorable battle. I say defenseless, this would be one of those video game tropes where people are saying, why didn't he use the Star Rock? The battle is intense, and I would have it that you are forced to use the slowest, strongest character, King Dedede, in order to fight Kirby. Eventually, Meta Knight would call out to King Dedede, realizing that the techniques are a lot like what Meta Knight can do.
He is just like me, sire. You know what I can do with a sword. So I know how to fight this thing. Alright, you little pig puffball! I'm the king, and nobody, and I mean nobody, beats King Dedede!
With a savage hit, King Dedede launches Kirby backward and into a stone wall. The poor thing can't even move, and he's actually dropped his copy ability.
Metadummy! The Star Rod!
Meta Knight dispels the evil from the little warrior, and that evil takes off into the sky, but Meta Knight has wings. He vanquishes the darkness, and erupting from it is his sword that falls to the earth below. And funny enough, because this is a Kirby game, you still need some laughs, it falls right in front of King Dedede.
Ah! You did that on purpose!
Not at all, sire. You fought well.
He heads close to the now beaten and bruised Star Warrior and holds his warp star up to him in order to heal him with its guiding light. The kid wakes up and sees Meta Knight.
You are Kirby, aren't you?
He gets up happily but realizes that King Dedede's right there and hides behind Meta Knight.
He will not hurt you, but your power, it is remarkable. Adeline, paint something for our little friend. A treat.
After bringing a huge cake to life, Kirby swallows it whole, and this shocks everybody in the group. He just swallowed the whole thing!
Yes, perhaps try drawing some element. Fire. Try drawing a campfire.
He does, but nothing seems to happen up until Kirby eats it. Here we get Fire Kirby before everyone's eyes.
There you are, Adeline. You have your way of helping us. Through Kirby, you are able to give him strength.
This would be a callback to the second world, where Adeline felt a little bit underwhelming, and not a lot of gamers would really use him. Here, Adeline has more of a story purpose. He's able to give Kirby powers by painting. Not to mention there would be some rooms previously in the game that you couldn't get to without certain elements. Therefore, Kirby being able to use Adeline's painting in order to get copy abilities and use them? That would extend the life of the game because you have to go back to these places to get all of the fun collectibles. However, being a jack of all trades, I would have Kirby be more of a glass cannon. He's able to put out a lot because of all the different elements that he can get from Adeline, but he's still a child, so he would take more damage than everyone else. The rest of the game would continue as usual, with Meta Knight having to square off against 02. This time, however, with Kirby's introduction and the Warp Star being a thing, this is where the Warp Star can come in handy. While Meta Knight is using the Star Rod and flying along with Kirby, Ribbon is providing support with the Crystal Launcher. 02 would be vanquished for good, and everything would return well. There would be no more darkness following 0. The Warriors would get a feast that Kirby is more than happy to clean up, and then head on back to Planet Popstar, Kirby in tow. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for this story. Might this Kirby change things for this continuity, or maybe Meta Knight will have something going through his mind as far as this new Star Warrior? Leave your comment below. For more what-ifs in the realm of video gaming, such as if another main character was missing from his timeline, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!
Seriously, if you want a textile Schmidt of your own, go ahead and, comment below how much you would pay for him.